Hey, here we are back in Brechin, Ontario. You know, Rod, I've been going to Lumberjack competitions for over 30 years. I can never say enough about how important local businesses and sponsorships are to these kinds of events. Town of Brechin is going to be awfully proud of having partners like Scott and Karen Switzer and Heather Mallard of Brechin Timber Mart. This store and a few other timber marts are family owned and operated since 1993. Heather and the Switzers were more than pleased to help Shannon O'Donnell when she came with them for an idea of a lumberjack competition here in the town of Brechin. Just like the business being family, they know Brechin is family as well. Their policy is, we can do anything. And they practice that regularly with their dedicated service and competitive pricing. Every time Shannon asked for help with this event, Scott, Karen, and Heather stepped right up and, of course, helped turn this event into a huge year one success. Every town needs businesses to be community focused, just like Brechin Timber Mart. Well, earlier before the break, we saw the first two heats of the Springboard Chop. We're about to see the final heat.
Cecil Starr, Lake Dalrymple, Ontario. I'm a utility forester.
Paul Finnegar from Scottsville, New York, and I am an auto mechanic.
Well, this is the last heat of the Springboard Chop. We got Starr versus Finnegar in this one. Two top-notch guys, one from Canada, one from the U.S. Should be a great battle.
One looking at a big pole, one looking at a small pole. Look how tiny Cecil Starr's pole is. Actually makes it a lot better to get your notch out in a pole that small.
Cecil on the board, slightly ahead of Finnegar right now, trying to flick out his last few pieces. Finnegar also working on his second notch. Who's going to be Finnegar or Starr? Cecil drives his axe in and jams his board in the second notch.
Cecil had a phenomenal Springboard Chop in the Maritimes just a few weeks earlier. Interesting to see him up here. Actually, two great choppers here, Canada and the United States, going head-to-head in a springboard.
Finnegar one swing ahead of Cecil. Cecil picking up the pace a little bit right now. Once again, both guys look like they have excellent blocks.
Picking up the pace, but you see his lines are a lot sloppier. Well, one thing that happens when you pick up your pace, sometimes you lose your momentum, you lose where you're swinging, and that's happened to Cecil.
Time to be right now. Gaston's at 58.36. Both guys switching over to the backside. Finnegar ahead at this point. Looks like Finnegar's going to drive things off. He chips things out. Finnegar wins a springboard with a 56-36. Cecil right behind him.
That was an excellent race with Cecil. You took a little bit more time, especially on your second notch. I heard the announcer say a nice deep pocket for Paul.
Yeah. Well, the thing with this tree, it's small at the top, so the wood is really soft. So I knew if I was going to have a chance to catch Cecil in the chop, I had to have a perfect pocket and a good board. So I made sure I put those 6 hits in hard and deep, and my board held nicely, was nice and flat. I was able to get back on my board, get a lot of power in my swing, and come up ahead.
You left a fair amount of work on your backside as well. Is that part of the plan? Because you spent a lot of time on your backside.
Yeah, not generally. I missed a couple hits on my backside. On my slope side down, I was just missing my mark a little bit. It should have been 3 to 4 hits. It took me a couple extra more than if I would have hit my mark, I would have been off a lot sooner.
We talked about the age of competitors. We have the whole spectrum here from Marcel Dupuis to Gaston Dupre, but the guy on top is Paul Finnegar with a 56-3.